In the year 12 BC, a significant shift occurred in the political and religious landscape of Rome with Augustus's elevation to the position of Pontifex Maximus, the chief priest of Rome. This year marked not just a personal achievement for Augustus but also represented a consolidation of power that intertwined the religious and political spheres of Roman life. As the first Roman emperor, Augustus sought to restore traditional Roman values and integrate the religious authority of the state into his governance. This narrative delves into the intricacies of Augustus's rise to the chief priesthood, exploring the implications for Roman society, politics, and religion, while illustrating how this pivotal moment influenced the very fabric of the Roman Empire. The context of Augustus's rise. To fully understand the significance of Augustus's assumption of the title of Pontifex Maximus, it is essential to delve into the historical and social context of Rome in the late Republic and early Empire. The fall of the Republic. Civil wars. The transition from the Republic to the Empire was marked by a series of civil wars, culminating in the rise of Augustus. The political turmoil created a power vacuum that Augustus skillfully filled, positioning himself as a stabilizing force. Julius Caesar's legacy. Augustus, born Gaius Octavius, was the adopted son of Julius Caesar. Following Caesar's assassination in 44 BC, Augustus emerged as a key player in the ensuing power struggles. His connection to Caesar provided him with a unique platform to garner support from the populace and the military. The role of religion in Roman society. Religious authority. Religion was deeply intertwined with politics in Rome. The office of Pontifex Maximus held significant power, overseeing religious ceremonies, ensuring adherence to traditional rites, and safeguarding the Roman state's relationship with the gods. Public perception. The Roman populace placed great importance on the favor of the gods. A successful leader was one who could not only win battles but also maintain the religious integrity of the state. Augustus's political strategy. Restoration of traditions. Augustus recognized the need to restore traditional Roman values and religious practices, which had been neglected during the chaotic years of the Republic. His ascension to the role of Pontifex Maximus was part of a broader strategy to present himself as the protector of Roman morals and traditions. Propaganda and public image. Augustus skillfully utilized propaganda to shape his image. His portrayal as a pious leader who respected the gods and traditional rituals endeared him to the populace, reinforcing his legitimacy. The election of Augustus as Pontifex Maximus in 12 BC, Augustus officially became Pontifex Maximus, a title that conferred immense religious authority upon him. This section explores the circumstances surrounding his election. The political landscape of 12 BC. The death of the previous Pontifex Maximus. The previous Pontifex Maximus, Lepidus, had died, creating a vacancy that Augustus was keen to fill. Lepidus's death removed a potential rival, allowing Augustus to consolidate his power further. Influence of the Senate. While the Senate traditionally held sway in matters of governance, Augustus's influence allowed him to maneuver politically. He secured the support of key senators who recognized the importance of aligning with the new emperor. Augustus's campaign for the title. Public support. Augustus embarked on a campaign to win public favor, emphasizing the need for a strong leader who would restore the state's religious integrity. He participated in religious ceremonies and emphasized his commitment to the gods. Political maneuvering. Augustus utilized his political acumen to navigate the complexities of the Senate. He strategically positioned himself as a candidate who would uphold traditional Roman values, leveraging his familial connection to Julius Caesar. The ceremony of ascension. Rituals and symbols. The ascension to the role of Pontifex Maximus was steeped in ritual. Augustus participated in sacred ceremonies, donning the traditional garb of the pontiff and taking oaths before the Roman people. Public celebration. The announcement of Augustus's new title was met with public celebration. Festivals and games were organized to honor the new Pontifex Maximus, reinforcing his connection to the religious traditions of Rome. The responsibilities of Pontifex Maximus. As Pontifex Maximus, Augustus assumed several key responsibilities that intertwined the religious and political realms, shaping the role of the emperor in Roman society. Oversight of religious practices. Maintenance of the state religion. Augustus was tasked with overseeing the state religion, ensuring that traditional rituals were performed correctly to secure the favor of the gods. Appointment of priests. Augustus had the authority to appoint other priests, allowing him to influence the religious landscape of Rome and ensure loyalty to his regime. Restoration of temples and rites. Rebuilding temples. Augustus initiated projects to restore and rebuild temples that had fallen into disrepair, reinforcing the connection between the state and the divine. Revival of rituals. He revived neglected religious festivals and rituals, presenting himself as a leader committed to the spiritual well-being of the state. Propaganda and religious identity. Cult of personality. Augustus utilized his position to cultivate a personal cult, portraying himself as the chosen one of the gods. This propaganda enhanced his authority and legitimacy. Religious festivals. Augustus organized grand religious festivals, celebrating his achievements and reinforcing the idea of divine favor upon his reign. These events served to solidify the bond between the emperor and the Roman populace. Augustus's religious policies and reforms. The role of Pontifex Maximus allowed Augustus to implement various religious policies and reforms, impacting Roman society on multiple levels. The secular games of 17 BC. A major celebration, although not directly part of his ascension, Augustus's organization of the secular games in 17 BC highlighted his commitment to reviving Roman religious traditions. These games were a celebration of the Roman state and its relationship with the gods. Religious significance. The games were infused with religious significance, emphasizing the restoration of traditional values and the favor of the gods upon Augustus's reign. Legal reforms and morality. Legislation for morality. Augustus enacted laws aimed at promoting traditional family values and moral conduct. These laws reflected his desire to restore the social fabric of Rome, aligning with his role as Pontifex Maximus. Public support. By framing his legislative efforts within a religious context, Augustus garnered public support, presenting himself as a moral leader dedicated to the revival of Rome. The religious calendar. Introduction of new festivals. Augustus introduced new festivals to the religious calendar, further integrating his rule with the religious life of the state. Emphasis on Augustan values. The festivals celebrated Augustan values, reinforcing the notion that the emperor was a central figure in the religious and cultural life of Rome. The interplay between religion and politics. Augustus's role as Pontifex Maximus underscored the inseparable link between religion and politics in Roman society. This section examines the implications of this relationship. Legitimization of power. Divine right to rule. By assuming the role of Pontifex Maximus, Augustus framed his authority within a religious context, claiming a divine right to rule. This perception enhanced his legitimacy as the emperor of Rome. Religious justification for policies. Augustus utilized religious rhetoric to justify his political decisions, presenting them as aligned with the will of the gods. This tactic further solidified his control over the state. The emperor as a mediator between gods and people. Public expectations. Augustus positioned himself as a mediator between the gods and the Roman people, responsible for maintaining divine favor through proper religious practices. Response to crises. In times of crisis, Augustus relied on religious ceremonies to appease the gods, using his position as Pontifex Maximus to address public concerns and maintain stability. The evolution of the role of emperor. Changing perceptions. Augustus's assumption of religious authority transformed the perception of the emperor from a political figure to a religious leader. This evolution set a precedent for future emperors who would follow in his footsteps. Religious cults. Augustus's reign marked the beginning of the imperial cult, where emperors were worshipped as divine figures, intertwining religion and politics in unprecedented ways. Augustus's legacy as Pontifex Maximus. The impact of Augustus's role as Pontifex Maximus reverberated through the history of Rome, shaping the empire for generations to come. Influence on future emperors. Model of leadership. Augustus established a model of leadership that future emperors would emulate, intertwining political power with religious authority. Institutionalization of the imperial cult. The cult of the emperor became an enduring feature of Roman religious life, reinforcing the divine legitimacy of the emperor. Cultural integration. Romanization of provinces. Augustus's policies facilitated the spread of Roman culture and religion throughout the provinces, solidifying the empire's identity. Religious syncretism. As Roman influence expanded, Augustus's approach to religion fostered a degree of religious syncretism, blending Roman traditions with local beliefs in conquered territories. Enduring religious practices. Tradition of Pontifex Maximus. The office of Pontifex Maximus persisted long after Augustus's reign, becoming a central aspect of Roman political life. Cultural resonance. The religious reforms and practices initiated by Augustus continued to shape Roman culture, influencing art, literature, and social norms for centuries. Conclusion. The sacred union of religion and power. The year 12 BC marked a pivotal moment in Roman history with Augustus's elevation to Pontifex Maximus. This transition not only solidified Augustus's power but also transformed the role of the emperor, intertwining religious and political authority in unprecedented ways. The legacy of this union would resonate throughout the history of Rome, shaping the identity of the empire and influencing the dynamics of power for generations. As Augustus navigated the complexities of governance and religion, he established a framework that would define the relationship between the state and religion, ultimately laying the foundation for the enduring legacy of the Roman Empire.